I cheated with a woman.
That wasn't a man?
I've given you 11 orgasms in one night. I have realized I have been a horrible, horrible wife.
Don't stay here and cheat. Go be with somebody else.
I can't take this anymore. I think I'm gonna just have to walk away from this.
Oh my gosh. Is this what I signed up for?
This nigga's over here punching the wall, you know, like he's bleeding on the floor. This is crazy.
You are literally scaring the shit out of your woman.
Because maybe you're not in therapy like you know you need to be. Let's be honest.
When I did call his parents, the first thing out of his daddy's mouth was, he's still doing that?
Divorce will always be an option.
If your daughter came to you and said exactly what you said to me, what would you say? And she said, leave.
Your life is bigger than a relationship.
Let me ask you this. So with those three people, when it comes to a married woman, a woman in a committed relationship, is there any room for her to receive counsel from single friends?
Personally, and listen, no shade to single. I know so many wise single people. Like, man, wise. But you can't tell me how to be a wife.
Thanks.
You can give me certain principles, but you don't even know how to put them in play because you haven't been challenged in that area. So no, it's not possible.
Unless she's been previously married. Right?
Unless she's been previously married.
But even then with that, like I've been previously, but I'm careful with how I like.
But you have your experience is valuable.
Yeah, I agree with that. But the issue I run into with people who, sometimes people are looking for a way out of their marriage, they tend to go to the person who got out of theirs. So they'll come to me with because they assume because you're divorced, you're going to help.
You're going to give them the answer. Again, people
and they're always shocked when I'm like,
answer,
absolutely not. I would never, because they assume, because you are. I've even had women get mad at me, or they even reach out later and say, hey, I held a grudge because you got out of your marriage and you're successful now. And I'm like, I would have never chosen that. I would have never chosen to be divorced.
Right.
I was created to be a wife. I am a help me. Like I would never choose to get divorced.
Right.
But I made the best out of it. I used it to build, to heal, and to now help other women in their confidence and in their self-esteem with making better choices. So that's not a brag. Yeah, that's not a brag.
Right. Nobody says, "Hey, I'm gonna get married to get divorced."
So I don't give marriage advice. Period. But when they come to me and they're asking me something, I'm never leaning them towards divorce. Like if you come to me, you're gonna get the exact opposite. If you can work it out, fix it. If you can handle it, fix it. But they assume, Destiny out here, she getting it, empower woman. No child, because I'll be married a second time. I don't, absolutely not. And people assume, especially the whole, don't get me started on this, but the whole women empowerment movement sometimes has led us to be misguided as women to think independent out the songs we sing, it's literally the women empowerment movement has definitely hurt our culture because it's veered off in something it was never meant to be. Empowerment means to authorize permission, to grant power, permission to. We've taken our power and we've misused it.
Yes.
So I don't need a man. I'm Miss Independent. I make this money. If he ain't got nothing to. And again, people will attack me for saying that. That's fine. I don't care. But as a woman, we were created to be helpmeets. It doesn't mean we can't be independent and have something for ourselves, but we've allowed that to pull us away from the structure and the infrastructure of the home, the family unit, needing a man. Yes, I don't need a man. And I get what we're saying, but we took that too far.
We took it too
far. You don't need a man as in you don't need a man to, maybe validate or whatever, but we were made to be in community.
Yes.
We were made to be interdependent, not independent.
Yes.
And I have to take, again, accountability because in my earlier years coming out with my brand and my business, I felt like I had something to prove. I felt like I had to prove I'm not just a pretty face. I'm not just getting by on my looks and men. Like I felt like I had to prove like, no, Destin, you're independent. You can do this. But as I began to gain wisdom and realize, Destin, you don't have anything to prove. If men want to help you and their heart is pure, their motives is pure, let them help you. If people want to do this, let them help you. But we've allowed the women empowerment movement to take us somewhere it was never designed to take us. And now we're having these conversations about how to get a man, how to get a high value man, do this, do that. I teach women, if you tap into the essence of who you are as a queen, we are so powerful. When we walk in rooms, we captivate and we entrance with our presence. Not with what you're wearing, none of that. It's the hidden man, that hidden woman, the character we're talking about, the core values. Those things radiate. You never have to open up your mouth and say a word. But we don't teach that in the women empowerment movement. We teach it just based on, girl, get your bag. Yes. And again, as a single woman divorced, I did learn to travel by myself, get to love me, take myself to dinner, take myself to nice restaurants, nice trips. Yes, but that was to make sure Destiny could heal who she was, knew who she was. So now when she comes into a relationship again, she has more to bring to the table as well. And as we increase in our value, our prospects increase. We attract a higher level and a higher caliber. So all this advice, you want a high value man, do this, do that. You don't have to do any of that. I know they're gonna attack me. I don't care. You know, so when you single, I'm single because I haven't chosen, not single because I can't. There's a difference.
Let 'em
right?
So I'm gonna go ahead and demand.
Destiny
guys,
inspiring.
Destiny
She inspiring.
inspiring right now. I need men. She just represented for the men for sure on this one. Men, I need somebody to drop a $50 super chat just to show appreciation.
And I need
for
all the
Destiny.
women to say, I need a man in the chat.
Drop
if you
an
want
eight.
it, I see
You
I
don't
need a
have
man
that.
in
You
the
don't have that
chat.
one person gonna say, nah, because I don't need it. That's
No, but
fine.
for that
but who
woman,
else
lady-
for? It was for. Who understood. If you heard the heart
Right.
of what I'm saying, you understand what I'm really trying to
And,
say.
and listen, for those who think that they don't need a man, you're only protecting your heart. That's why they say that. Right? Because they rather protect their heart than have the courage to love and possibly get hurt. And that's just the reality.
Because there are many great men out there, and I think we discredit the dating pool. Maybe that's just
It
the
is.
end we're swimming in or where
No,
we're
yeah,
in. But
I
I
think
meet
it comes-
many amazing kings, and I can't even.
Yeah,
my
absolutely.
experience has not been men is this, all men. That hasn't been my experience. It just hasn't been. Are there people who are that way? Yes. But again, as the light attracts bugs too. So you're going to attract some bugs here and there. But when you know who you are, what you want, your standards, and you continue to grow and evolve as a woman, again, who you attract begins to increase. So
That's
when
an
we work on
absolute-
that,
Yeah.
it'll eliminate some of the problems we have.
Yo, Destiny, that's an absolute fact. And for the young ladies that's too far gone, me and Tyshawn actually right now negotiating with an exorcist. We can get an exorcist to get those demons and that masculinity up out you. Now listen, real quick. I'm joking with y'all, but real quick, we actually had a super chat. Shout out to WIFE. That's wifey right there. Shout out to her.
Wifey.
She says, thank you all. Thank you, Shirley. I've been waiting to find a person who can answer that question for 7 years strong. Shirley, you breaking the freaking
Praise
heat
God.
today. I think this is crazy.
Praise God.
But Coriel, listen. The chat
I
is
do?
not gonna let you slide on this one, Coriel. They're not gonna let you slide
Cause I didn't ask that man about him getting shot at. That man did not get shot at, y'all.
Listen,
That man did not get shot at. He was lying.
Shout out to Shannon for keeping it real and being engaged from Marriage Inc. TV. He says, Coriel, your lack of response to him getting shot was abusive as well.
Had that been the first time that he told a lie like that, then possibly.
Okay, well, let's talk about that because I got some guy friends, you know what I mean? And they in the dating market and some of them in some serious relationships. Now, I've heard some things that the women are not doing and the things that the women are doing that I thought, honestly, now that I think about it, I do consider it abuse. Like when he gets sick or he's in the hospital or something's going on with a woman just not showing up.
Oh, man.
Or
Absolutely.
or
Yeah,
he's
for sure.
requesting that the woman participate in some kind of family engagement and the woman just acting like she don't want to be around. So let me ask you this for the men, because I want to protect the ladies, but I also want to protect the men. So what are some things from you guys' perspective that women do sometimes to show a level of nonchalantness or malcare or just abuse from a woman? What does abuse look like from a woman?
I think it's a lot of manipulation as well. I think it's almost like setting your man up to get what you want. You know, it's manipulating the situation. It's asking a question in a certain way to force you to do what I really want you to do. Yes. It is pure manipulation. That's the best way that I could
Being
say it.
dismissive. Man, that's so
That's a
emotionally
good one.
abusive.
That's a good one.
Man.
Give me an example of that, by the way. Give me an example of being dismissive.
You could say something to me and you share something that's important to you, and my response is really just basic. Like I'm not asking you questions about it. I'm not inquiring like anything about it. Like you literally opened up, and I'm just like, okay, and I'm just over here doing whatever I'm doing. Just it's not important to me.
Is that manipulation or just pure negligence?
It's negligence. I mean, it's dismissive is you tell me this is what I need and I keep doing what I want to do. Shannon and I have what we call the burger syndrome, right? Early in our marriage, like year 2 or 3, because we were living in Philly at this time, and he asked me to go get a burger, like literally asked me to stop. I was on my way home. He asked me to stop to get a burger from McDonald's. Well, I had passed McDonald's. And I was like, well, I'll just go to Burger King because I'm going to pass Burger King instead of turning around and going back. So when I came back, I mean, he was pissed. I kept saying, a burger is just a burger. That's being dismissive. And then
That's a good
that
one.
translated into how I was as a wife. And so we have what we literally call the burger syndrome. A burger
It's
isn't
like you
just
don't take
a
what I'm gonna give
burger.
you versus what you
Right,
asking
because
for.
I'm like, it has meat, it has bread, it has
That's
the
not what I-
ketchup, it has
that's
the
not what I
mustard.
asked for.
Why are you tripping? Why are you making a big deal about it? And that's what I would say to Shannon when he'd share his heart to me.
Yeah.
Like, why are you tripping? Why are you making that
That's
a big?
good.
That's dismissive. That's negligence.
I think it's women, and again, I know I'm when people assume again because I help women, I coach them that I'm always just pro women, anti man. Absolutely not. So for me, I can honestly say, even as a woman, being raised how I was raised, my social construct, just my upbringing, nurture and nature, I can say that women, we're taught how to cook, how to clean. From childhood, we're taught how to be a wife, prepare to be a wife, right? How to take care of a man in every aspect. But we're not always taught how to care for a man emotionally.
not a.
We're taught how to give him what he needs as far as give him sex, you know, be a good wife, cook, clean, even be submissive. Like, we're taught those things, but and again, this is gonna open a can of worms. I know people I know the women gonna get mad at me, but I'm gonna tell you anyway, sis, because I'm gonna tell you. And I don't condone cheating at all. It's wrong. I don't agree with that at all. But I also can see how doors are open. I know women might say, we like to make excuses for the man. I'm not, but it is what it is, sound bites, whatever. But we can become so wrapped up in making sure, and again, we're doing the right thing, making sure we're cleaning, we're cooking, we're somebody come home to, where all these things on the outside that we're taught to be as women, but again, we don't understand how a man communicates his love language as far as when he's not speaking. We don't know sometimes, and we're not taught. We don't know how to cater to a man emotionally. So whereas you say you were dismissive of him and his thoughts and his feelings about a burger, we're not taught to be acknowledging of that. We're not taught to be able to, because we assume, man, no, they supposed to be strong, they supposed to be bold, they supposed to be assertive, they supposed to be an alpha male. He ain't supposed to have feelings, you soft, you this, you that. So we're not taught how to cater to that level of their emotions, which is why I see the door open for a lot of infidelity in relationships sometimes. I see the man that'll go for the woman, they'll say, she wasn't even as cute, how you gonna cheat down? But that woman, she knew how to make him feel like a man. Without ever touching him. The work wife, she knew how to say, oh, I just thank you for helping me fix this. She knew how to make him feel like a man. Versus when he come home, yeah, you cooked, you cleaned, you loved him, you gave him children. Yes, sis, you did what you were supposed to do. But we were missing that component of, okay, he still didn't feel like a man. He didn't feel needed.
That soft space.
He didn't feel valuable.
The culture calls that an insecure man. Like, we throw the word insecure around so
We
loosely.
do. What we don't
throw the
understand,
word-
we label.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we assume he's insecure because we haven't learned his language of love. Not just the love languages, words, not just that, but as a man, he wants to feel like a man in every way. I don't care if I open jar, baby, can you open this jar for me? Like, I'm gonna make you feel important. Even if I know you are, I have to show that to you. And not always, you didn't take out the trash today. You always, and then those absolutes we talk about, you always this, you never that. Like, we don't think of those things, right? So again, as women, we have to be able to look at every aspect. Now, some men are just dogs. It is what it is. We're not talking about them, sis. We ain't talking about them.
Right.
We're talking about men who are good men, who may go astray, who may do things. We have to, again look at, okay, Des, okay, you. What is the way that I communicate to him where I'm not just giving him what's expected as a woman, the cooking, the cleaning, the sex, all of this, but am I catering to the innermost parts of that man? He got feelings too. He got emotions too. Am I taking the time to get to learn that? And as women, we're just not taught that. We don't know. No one teaches us
You
to
brought
do
up a
that.
really good point. I want to ask this. Because you said something. I want to just from the table. I want to know get the consensus here. Can we all agree that really good men can cheat?
Yes.
Yes, I would agree with
Hands
that.
down.
I would agree because I know
Oh,
some.
we got like a little sideways head turn
And I know
over
we're
here.
gonna assume that now.
Really good men can cheat.
I agree with that.
Listen,
I'm dropping first off. That's
It's
the
you,
poll.
sis.
I'm dropping
It's
that
not
poll.
That's gonna
It's
be
you, sis.
controversial. That's gonna be but the good men who do cheat, they know. They agree. The good men who have cheated.
and they make the correction.
I'm dropping the poll. Can good men cheat?
That's how you know he's a good man.
He makes the correction.
He makes the correction. Period.
Now, does it
Right,
mean
and it's-
all good men cheat? No, we're not speaking
Right.
absolutes. You said, can
Can
they?
a good-
Listen closely before y'all attack the comments. Can they? We all have the capacity to do anything. Always or never say what you won't do. It's easy to say that. I of course, will say I will never murder somebody. I get that. But Dr. Maya, the late Dr. Maya Angelou, rest her soul, she had a saying by this Roman playwright called Terence, homo sum humani ni in alien puto, meaning I am a human being, nothing human can be alien to me. Meaning the same thing that someone has capacity to do because you are human, you never know what you're gonna do. You never know what you can do when you put in certain
You really
situations.
don't.
And it sounds good to say I would never do that. I've been humbled many seasons in my life. And again, I don't know each person. You may be that person who can say, I would never. My desire is to never. But you never know what road life will take you down. And from experiences, when you get yourself in situations, sometimes you can become things that you never imagined. And you look at yourself like, who am I? This isn't even me. So when you ask, can a good man cheat? Yes, I believe he can.
Cheat? You can cheat too?
Can I cheat?
Yeah.
I have the capacity to cheat. Absolutely.
Ooh.
I am human.
listen.
It's in me.
That's
Will
why
I act on it? I don't intend to. No.
you don't intend to.
But is it inside of me? I'd be
That's-
lying if I
that's
said
why-
I just wanted to hear the realness.
Absolutely.
I just wanted you to keep it real over there.
That's
be
where there's
lying.
a difference between
because
a
if
cheater.
Idris Elba was not married.
There's a difference between a
Idris.
cheater and someone who cheats.
Wait, say that one more time. Say that
There's
one
a
more time.
difference between a cheater. If you're a cheater,
Habitual.
serial cheater, this is what you do.
Yeah.
Or someone that cheats. Right? That's why a good man can cheat. You know, when you were speaking, you know, my mentor told me some things are caught and some things are taught. Right? And we're not taught how to be submissive. We're told how to be submissive. And that's the problem in getting into marriages and why so many people are opposed to marriage, because they don't understand what it means to be a helpmeet. They don't understand what it means to lead a family as a man, and they don't understand that submission, it is universal. I submit to you, you submit to me. It's not just me, the
Bible
woman.
says that husbands submit
submitting. It
yourself to
says
your
submit
wives.
yourself to your
Submit
wife.
one to another.
You understand? But it's just, man, this whole feminism, I'm telling you, I can't stand it. It's ruining our community. And listen, I know y'all gonna drag me, but guess what? I don't care
needs
because
to
I
be
know who I am.
said.
I like, trust, and know me.
Yo, we going crazy right now. I just dropped that poll. We got over 470 people 2 hours in right now. Over 470 people. We've got 10 members that have joined so far. So just 5 more, and we hit our 15-member goal for tonight. And shout out to Miss Webb. Miss Webb says, I am finally a member. I love you guys. No, Miss Webb, we love you.
Yes.
That's a fact.
I will say this though, just so we clear. Yes, ladies, the consensus is that a good man can cheat, but just so we clear, a good woman never cheats. All right? Just so y'all know, a good woman never ever cheats.
Wrong.
So don't y'all think about it, ladies.
No, that's good.
No, this is really good, man. I appreciate you also giving me your testimony on physical abuse. That's all, by the way, we be going into some deep directions here, but that's actually how we actually got to that point. And I want to let y'all know too, ladies, like one of the biggest things y'all should not be overlooking when it comes to dealing with a man, especially the future leader of your household, your family, your legacy. One important trait I don't really hear, you probably won't even hear in the top 5 or 10 qualities of a leader, but it is poise. It's literally how this person handles a storm, how this person handles emotional rapture, how this person handles obstacles, all of those different things. How do they stand in that? And, you know, I think it's so important that the downfall of poise is that sometimes as men, we can numb ourselves just so we can think so well, because it's that important. It's that important as a leader. But the best of men are still able to feel their emotion, but not be emotional and let the emotion take them. But ladies, do not be dealing with these air punching grown men, okay? And these men that's clearly erratic, because that's a huge red flag. And I mean, that's just, man, you're right. If I find out my little sister,
It's gonna be a problem.
It's gonna be a problem.
And it's interesting you talked about poise, right? Because sometimes women will look at that as weakness. Like they want the rah, rah, rah.
I mean, we just saw that story of the guy who went into the corner store to defend his girl and ended up getting killed. It's like, why would you send I've had this conversation with my husband. You don't have to defend me against anything to that extent. It's not worth it. I'd rather go home with you. I don't. Nope.
Yep.
So real quick, guys, I want everybody, I just dropped the Instagram, so all three of these beautiful young ladies, so go ahead and make sure you follow them on Instagram now. I wanted to lay this out there because on the last show, we actually had, I believe it was Shannon actually, I believe he said, he spoke about making sure that your values align. I think Chris Crump did as well. I think all the men pretty much agreed on that. Making sure before a woman moves forward with a man and vice versa, that the values align. The question that I actually had from one of our YouTube members as we spoke on the phone, she said she thought that was great counsel, by the way. But she says, what if you're in a situation now where you realize the values don't quite align? What do you do?
That's tough, right? It's tough on one hand because you want to do something about it, right? So Shannon and I, our values did not align spiritually. And that's why when we say, how long do you wait? I waited 26 years before we got on the same, we're in our 26th year, before we got on the same page spiritually. And he figured out how he could lead me. I always wanted to be led. I wasn't a PK kid, but I grew up, my father leading my family to worship every week. Right? So I saw certain things and I knew that that's what I wanted. Now, there are so many other wonderful qualities about Shannon that I'm not about to leave my marriage because of that. I literally had to give it to God. Because when I kept trying to change him, all it did was just put a wedge in between us. And it caused me to have a level of disrespect for him because there was something that I needed and he wasn't meeting that need. I had to change my perspective. And my perspective was, where I am and where he is, I have to respect where he is. And I can no longer push what it is that I want. Literally, I gave it to God. 26 years. Now, mind you, that doesn't mean that we were unhappy, right? That just means that I knew that I had to do worship my way and allow him to do worship his way. In all these other areas, like, why am I going to throw away these 10 areas because in this just, because this one area is not hitting right.
Right.
That's marriage, y'all. You're not going to always be on the same page. And you're learning and you're growing and you're figuring things out. It clicked for Shannon, not because of anything that I said. You understand? God will bring people in our lives to help things click that our spouse couldn't get to click. You got to trust the process.
I feel it. Get that poll popping, Ryan. What we got on that poll over there?
So
Ryan?
I'm going to go ahead and close out the poll real quick. Can good men cheat? And surprisingly, 106 votes. 71% of the 106 people said sure. Good men can cheat. We got some last minute votes coming in. You're trying to change your mind, but no. I'm ending that poll. Good men can cheat. It's official. I think that's a good. Wouldn't that be a good shirt? Good men can cheat.
And just so y'all know, I see y'all in here talking. No, I do not cheat. Okay, I'm a faithful man. Okay, just so we clear about that. And I want y'all to go ahead, because we about to close this thing out, y'all. So y'all need to go ahead and drop y'all super chats. Get your questions in for these amazing women on the platform here.
These
Get
these
your
wives now, they got to go home.
Yes, they need to go back home.
Almost.
And
Right, but you know, hasn't manifested in the material world
on
yet.
now.
it's coming, baby. It's coming.
Speaking into
It
existence.
I want to ask you this here. Let's go to the solutions now, because you was in a place in your marriage where was a lot going on. Y'all experienced a whole lot of turmoil. Even with you leaving to go experience another person to go be fed, you still made the decision to stay in your marriage. You never filed for divorce. You hung in there. Why is that? Like, what made you say, with all of this going on that y'all went through, I'm not filing. I'm not going to leave this thing. I want to stick it out.
Well, it wasn't that. It wasn't always, I'm not filing, I'm not leaving this thing, I want to stick it out. For years, right, there were moments, right? Listen, we had good moments in all the pain. We still had wonderful moments, right? But at the times where I was hurting and I didn't want the marriage, I was either too broke, or I thought about my kids. I didn't want to be a single mom. I was afraid. Like, there were always reasons along the way, right? So it wasn't just, oh, I'm sticking in here. It was not that, because I was not doing something to help get my marriage in a healthy space. You understand? So it just Shannon found out that I had an affair, and we spent a year and a half just struggling, trying to figure it out. And then we said, either we're going to piss or get off the pot. And we knew that we just were two amazing human beings who just have not done the work. And so we both decided that we were going to do the work. And there were challenges after that, but I mean, not anything like that, but there were challenges. And we just worked through it, bro.
I want to know what that looks like, because there's people on here probably in that very same situation that I want to know. They probably literally on the rocks right now with not knowing if they should just go ahead and cut this thing off, end this marriage, which probably would affect the kids, their relatives,
Lord,
their workplaces, just so much. So they're in this place right now. What are the action steps to save the marriage? What does that look like?
So the first thing is taking accountability, right? So I had to literally look in the mirror and see who I was, and I had to accept that. Then I had to do the work to change. I had to stop looking to Shannon. That is one of the hardest aspects of healing, is not looking to your partner for anything, having no expectations, right? And in not having expectations, I knew, right, that he wanted to be a good man for me. He wanted to be a good husband. That didn't take away my fears of, listen, once somebody cheats, right, there are fears there. There are challenges. You see them looking at their phone and you're like, who are you talking to? They're going out the house and you're like, I wonder where you're going. Like, it's so many dynamics, right? So I had to get control over my thoughts. I had to. And I couldn't do it without God. Hands down. Your foundation, right? My foundation is God. In my flesh is wicked, bro. I cannot lean to my own understanding, or else I could never be the wife that I am to Shannon, because I would definitely want to retaliate and do a tit for tat, and we going back and forth. I had to find something that was greater than me, and lean on that. So you have to take accountability. You have to humble yourself, go to your partner, say, hey, these are the areas that I'm struggling in. This is what I've done wrong. I apologize. Please forgive me. I know it may take some time, right? Like, I had to say, babe, you cheated, and I understand why you would cheat. Man, I just created a hella environment for that man. His heart was not safe with me, y'all. and I had to own it. So that's just some of the things
That's good.
I'm not gonna lie. A woman says that's a hell of a conversation starter. And like,
Right.
no, really, like, because when you talk about creating it, we talked about that before, creating a safe space. Accountability is a really huge way to do that. That's a really good way to pop off a safe space. It's not you. Like, let me talk about what I did here.
That's it, bro.
And like that's a really good entryway to get somebody to drop their guard down and open up, especially previously when they have have went even to the point of running away from you.
Can I tell you, we've had husbands, specifically husbands, who would not come to coaching. I said, this is what I want you to say to your husband. I want you to say, babe, I have realized I have been a horrible, horrible wife.
Wow.
And I want us to go to coaching.
That'll do it.
I want us to go to coaching so I can see how I can be better for you.
That's good.
He walked his butt right through the door. That accountability is life changing. And I don't know why we just think it's so painful just to say, hey, I'm jacked up. Like, for real, I'm jacked up. You understand? Man.
I love it. And then the way in which you, as like you're saying, as a woman, to say that, in the way in which we communicate things matters to a man too. We can say all the right things, but all the wrong ways. Like, I can be 100% right, but when I come to you with it, the level of arrogance or the level of, sarcasm. And again, I've been a sarcastic person before, so I've had to humble myself and say, Des, you said the right thing, but the wrong way. Proverbs 11:22 says, as a gold ring is in the nose of a pig, so is a beautiful woman that lacks discretion. So you can be as beautiful as you want, know all the right things, but you have no discretion, no wisdom. It's a waste.
It's a waste.
Like, what does it look like being beautiful, but you every time you open up your mouth, we talk about the Proverbs 31 woman, she knew how to build her house. She knew how to build up her home. So we have to even learn as women, again, accountability. We may say they may be wrong technically, but when we fight their fire with our arrogance or with our condescension, right? And again, Destiny had to check Destiny. You right, sis. You smart. You know what you're talking about. But the way that you delivered it, did you deliver it in a way that he felt safe? Because now you came across combative. So even though you was right, he now feel challenged. So even if you're right, he not finna admit that. He's finna combat you with the same level of aggression you've given him. And a lot of times when we don't want to, fall back because we feel like we're losing. It's like, it's not fair. I'm right. So I'm not finna back down. I'm not finna. But if we change even our, and again, yes, there are some, well, I tried, it didn't work. We're not talking about him. It just didn't work with him.
Right.
But for the most part, when we're able to just humble ourselves, and I know people now, you don't like saying humble either, because now humble has
That's a trigger
every
word
time,
now.
everything is triggered. Humble,
Everything
submissive,
is
everything. So
triggering,
I'm gonna say what I
man.
gotta say. You take it how you want to take it. If you hear the heart of what I'm saying, then you understand what I'm really saying. But we have to be okay with humbling ourselves. And I had to do this just even recently. Like, I feel like I shouldn't have to do this. I shouldn't have to talk like this. I should be able to say it how I want to say it, and you still respect me. But the truth is, I can't. It is what it is. It doesn't make it right. It makes it reality.
Yeah.
So if I want to get the results I want to get out of any man without using manipulation, I have to do it the right way. I have to present. And as a woman, again, a wise woman builds her house. If you know how to say something and how to do it in such a way, using your feminine energy, you ain't got to use you are a woman. We're feminine. We were made that way. We don't have to try to tap into it. It comes natural. When you're in tune with who you are as a woman, it comes natural. So when I speak, my words are soft. When I speak, my words are going to come across something that's hard. A soft answer turns away wrath. So if I say it in a soft way, or in a way that he can receive it, it can be something hard, but dang, the way she said it though, just, dang, you can get anything you want out of me. And a lot of times we don't want to do that because we feel like we're losing. Or it's like, I've been doing this and I ain't getting results, so I'm finna try a different approach now. And again, with some people, it doesn't work. I get it. But for the most part, if we practice that and it become genuine and authentic, we'll get better results out of any man. I don't care how high value he is. I don't care how, if you know how to talk to a man as a woman, and we can again let go of our women empowerment, boss chick, I'm finna talk to you any kind of way because I make the money, I can do that, I miss INDP, we're gonna lose every time. Every time. So until we can have that conversation, humble ourselves and be okay with, I can be a woman, I can still get everything that I want without manipulating you and without having to prove You know, we don't gotta do all that, sis. Just
And
be
listen,
easy.
You ain't
if
got
you
to.
have boys as sons, if you have sons, you got a leg up on how to treat a man. Right? Because I used to be like, oh, you a
Wow.
grown ass man. I don't need, because my husband would say, if you treated me like you treated our sons, we wouldn't have half the problems that we have. And I would say, you a grown ass man. Why would I treat you the way I treat them? We should treat them exactly how we treat our sons. Look at I'm talking about good mothers, not
Yeah.
the mothers who's cussing their sons out. Because that means you cussing your man out.
It's all day affirmations.
Yeah.
I am affirming my sons. I had my son stand in the mirror. Of course, I wouldn't do this to my husband, but I'm talking about the principle. Stand in the mirror as kids and tell themselves how wonderful they are every day. Boys want their mom to look at them and look at them as a superhero. That's why a boy will get on this table and jump and then be like this.
And we
He
we'll
not
affirm
moving.
it. We'll affirm it. That's right, baby.
He
You
not
can be
moving
upset.
until you say something to him.
Right.
That's what your man wants. That's what a safe space looks like.
A
But
lot
see-
of
but
men's
see, the
language
thing
is
about
words
it
of
is-
affirmation.
If oh my God, it's all these little buzzwords going around because you hear it all the time.
Over 490 in the chat, by the way.
All you do is you hear him say, "I'm not your mama." He just wants
I was about to say,
somebody.
you know someone
He
be
just
triggered
want.
by that.
He looking for a mother, not a wife. You hear these words and these phrases all the time, and it just kind of shows you the status and where our culture is. Now, don't get me wrong. Is there a very immature man that is looking to be taken care of? Yes, but aside that,
Right.
aside that,
Right.
our culture, we have literally taken the worst man and literally we have built our
The avatar.
framework and our mindset around how we treat every man
Right.
like the
Because
worst
he might
man.
be that one.
Because he might be that one, I'm gonna have my defense up. I'm not gonna be super feminine. I'm not gonna be submissive. I gotta take care of myself. I'm not gonna treat him like this because I'm not his mama.
I'm not even gonna be nice to him because I'm afraid that he'll hurt my feelings.
That's a good one.
That's the thing.
That's one that started early on too. That started in the dating phase. They start doing that.
I mean, think about when we were little, and it's like you're gonna be mean to the person that you really like, just for fear that they don't like you back. So you gotta act. So it's literally that same spirit of I don't want you to hurt my feelings, so I'm gonna hide how I feel. But I had someone tell me the exact same thing of, if you are having a hard time embracing your femininity or, relating to men, think about the way that you relate to children. Because when a child comes into the room full of women, their guard is going to go down. They're going to soften up. There's going to be ooh, goo, goo, gaga instantly. Versus a man comes in and it's like you got an attitude. You have to be just untouchable when it comes to men. But with children, you're instantly soft. So I think it's the bringing that nurturing spirit. But again, our defense mechanism goes up when it's like, why should I have to nurture a man? Why should I have to be soft? Why does he deserve that?
And I think it's our 3 E's: our environment, our experience, and our exposure. So it creates our construct with how we deal with men. Because as women, we were created naturally nurturers.
We are
We're natural.
nurturer.
It actually takes more energy for us to
To
not
not
be
be.
nurturing than it is to be
That's
nurturing.
right.
Wow, that's a good point.
It takes more energy
Yes.
for me to be aggressive and assertive than it takes me to just naturally be what I was created to be in general. And again, based on our environment, our experience, and our exposure, yes, we create maybe in certain seasons of our life that was necessary to protect us, right? We've been in situations where maybe you had childhood abuse. Maybe there was rape, there was molestation, there was abuse, abandonment. So at some point you had to create this, I guess we call it masculine, I don't like using, but you had to create this more
Defense
aggressive
mechanism.
and assertive defense mechanism to protect yourself. But we have to understand, as we go through life, that's why healing is required.
Yes.
Because you got to tell yourself, you know what, Des? The 19-year-old virgin, the 17-year-old virgin, she protected you. She did a good job. You have permission
She
to
can-
relax
that's
now.
right.
Yep.
It's
That's
okay.
right.
Thank you for what you did for
That's
me.
right.
But now we're 31. It's okay to let your guard down. It's okay to be safe. You're safe now. So it's hard for us to make other people feel safe because we don't feel safe with ourselves. And we don't, again, the know, like, and trust factor. I teach that in confidence. Self-confidence is literally trusting yourself. How can I trust myself if I don't like myself and I don't know myself? So once we can do that, once I know who I am and I'm secure as Destiny, I can be kind and gentle and nice to you and don't feel like you finna take advantage of me because I know me. I'm confident who I am as a woman. So if I'm being kind and I feel like you're taking advantage of that, I know how to gather that together. But if I'm afraid of me and I'm like, well, I may do this and they may take advantage of me, I'm not confident who I am as a woman. Because I can't control you. We don't control people, but I can control myself. I can control how I respond to you. But if I'm trapped in the younger Destiny who had to protect herself from men, who had to protect herself from being taken advantage of, I'm going to go through life with this defense mechanism, ruining relationships. And relationships are the currency of everything we do. You need a relationship for everything. So say, I don't need a man. Lies. We all need each other.
Facts.
We were made, we're better together, literally. We were made to, and then for me, marriage is bigger than just, I want somebody I can love and spend time with. Marriage is a ministry. Like, I intend to make hell nervous with my marriage. I intend to make I make hell nervous as it is. Let's be clear, period. But when two come together, one can chase 1,000, two can chase 10,000. You two come together, you do damage to everything that comes against the infrastructure of marriage. Everything. And when that's the trick, to me, that's the trick of our enemy and the adversary, is to keep men and women at odds. Because if they ever come together for their original design, the world is in trouble. There's gonna be healed relations. There's gonna be a better economy, better peace in the world, because we come together and we build something that cannot be torn down. But the trick is to keep women, I don't need a man, based on our own environment, experience, and exposure. We don't create new experiences. We don't get into better environments. And we don't get a better level of exposure. So we settle for, no, this is how men are. This is what they do. I'm be independent. I'm gonna be a boss. He gonna have to do this for me. And men on the defense, women, they this, they that. Everybody want my money, because that's our 3 E's. So when we can dismantle that and just come together with conversations like this, then we can bring real healing into the conversation.
So yo, let's get a fire extinguisher. We need to hose down that mic. So this is the thing. Shout out to EJT who just joined the membership. That's officially 11 members who joined for tonight. This is the thing. We need 4 more. We only got about 5 minutes left, so I gotta have at least 4 more people join the YouTube membership tonight to officially be was already a success.
Yeah.
For it to officially be icing on the cake. Now, I know you guys have saved some relationships out there, and I appreciate that. And it's going to be a lot of people appreciate this that's listening to this. We're hoping to get at least 30,000 views on this thing, which I think we can do. But I got a question, because it's a lady or a guy out there, and they know good and well, they heard everything y'all said tonight, and they know it's time to walk away from that relationship. So I want one of you ladies to just tell this person that needs the encouragement, the courage to walk away. They need the strength to walk away from this relationship. What words would you give to that young man or young lady? They ready to walk away. They need to be kicked in the butt. It's listen, I'm gonna let Shirley. You want to take this one?
I mean, there's so many directions I can go, right? But one of the things, I was talking to a young lady today, and she broke down the dynamics of her relationship. And I asked if she had children, and she had children. I asked if she had a daughter. She said, yeah. And I said, so if your daughter came to you and said exactly what you said to me, what would you say? And she said, leave, right? We know what we're supposed to do. We just know, right? So whatever the fear is, you have to push past the fear. You have to. You have to have enough courage. You're never going to not fear. So people are waiting to not fear and then make the jump. No. Courage is, I was afraid and I made the jump, right? You have to plan.
That makes sense.
Right? If you're like, well, I don't have the finances, I don't have this. Stop thinking about why something can't be done and think about how it can be done. We have to retrain our brain. Your brain's job is to protect you, so it's not going to tell you to leave. You have to tell your brain, we're leaving. Literally, the brain does not know the difference between good, bad, right, wrong. All it knows is patterns. And so it knows when you're feeling this way, oh, this is what we do. So you have to say, okay, this is the truth of what's going on, and this is what I need to do. Listen, just think forward. Just move forward. Plan it out. Get you a journal. Write down what all your needs are, who you need to contact, who's your support system. Stop having so much pride that you won't reach out and say, listen, this is what's going on. I need your help. Can you do it or can't you? If they say no, don't take it personal. Go to the next person. So many things stop us because we're afraid of the no's. We're afraid of what could happen. I'm like, why are you afraid of what could happen? Like amazing, beautiful things can happen on the other side. It's so much there waiting for you. But you have to understand, number one, listen, the insecurities. Some people don't even feel like they deserve a great relationship.
That's true.
They look at themselves and they know that they're damaged, so how dare I leave because I know I'm a mess. No, that's faulty thinking. You're a mess. Go get yourself together so that you can no longer be a mess. That's what you do. You don't stay.
And if I could add to what Queen is saying, which camera can they see me at?
That's
I want
your
to look
camera
into
right there.
somebody.
That's your
Okay.
camera.
I want to tell somebody, because if you're on here, it's not by accident. You're clearly here because there's something that you need to get from this. And everything what Miss Shirley shared, all the wisdom that she shared with us, all that goes into understanding that you have a purpose in this earth, right? And your purpose is bigger than you. And so for you to stay stuck in a situation that is not conducive to the person you are called to be in this earth, how much blood is now on your hands because you're choosing not to leave and discover who you really are and the purpose partner or the relationship or whatever you're supposed to be in. Think about your bloodline, your children, your unborn children. What is it that you're on this earth to do? So you settling for history over your destiny, do you really want to go through your life knowing, listen, I just lost my mother I just buried her on Friday, right? I just buried my mother. And so I can't help but think about how fragile life is and how she impacted so many people. But what if you would have stayed stuck where you are because you were afraid to move? You were afraid to have courage and act in spite of fear. Like, why are you here? Who's watching you? Who needs this testimony that you're in? The thing that you're ashamed of, girl, get out of it. I told you I wore a ring for 3 months. I was ashamed. And now I reach hundreds, thousands, millions of people. This podcast right here, millions. So millions of people will speak it.
Facts.
Because of what I've been through, the thing that I was ashamed of, that I was ashamed to leave. I was scared to leave. Your life is bigger than a relationship. But the relationship is a bonus. It combines with who you are. So find a reason to live. Find a reason to get out of that situation, to know my life has a purpose. And I can't get stuck in my history and forfeit my destiny. So I just want to put that out there. It's bigger than just a relationship. It's a trick of the enemy to keep you from being who you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Can I add a practical tip?
Yes.
Just
Yes.
for like the people who are like, girl, I just got to get out of my head, because I'm a person that got to get out of their head.
Let's get it.
The scriptures and all of the things, none of that mattered when it got tough. The one thing that I referred back to was a list. I literally made a list of all of the bad stuff. Because when we get weak and we want to go back, we always think about the good stuff. What was so good when, and we suddenly just forget about all of the terrible things. So when you're in that feeling right now where you know you need to leave, make that list of all of the reasons why he doesn't deserve you, all of the reasons why you deserve better.
That's
so when
good.
you are feeling weak, you literally, it was in my phone, in my notes, you can literally refer back to it. When he starts blowing your phone up, you can look back at the list and remind yourself of all of the reasons that suddenly start to disappear when you start remembering the good times. So just
That
a
means
quick
forgive, but
That's
don't
good
forget.
stuff.
Sometimes the memory is what keeps you from going back to the mess. So you need to remember some of this stuff so you don't go back to that situation.
So let me ask y'all this real
He
quick.
says so many gems. I need a notepad. I just thought that was appropriate.
You do need a notepad because it really is going crazy. The men we had on here last time, they were absolutely anti-divorce, every single one of them. They were like, no, I don't care what you're going through.
I love that.
You better go ahead and you better deal with it. You're meant to struggle to get better. The pain is required to reach your next level. So is all of this stuff y'all saying solely for boyfriend-girlfriend relationships? Do you believe that regardless what the situation is, divorce is out of question? You should be sticking in that fight regardless of what the situation is.
You talking about that's for marriage, not people dating.
Yes, but my point is, if all of these abusive things are going on, whatever the case might be, should they be looking to
disagree.
take
I ain't
this
say
divorce off of the table and stick it through, and wait and evolve with this partner? Should that be the philosophy?
I'm not saying
No,
stay there.
no,
I can't
I
speak in
disagree.
absolutes on that. Because again, it goes back to character. Like for me, like in any type of companionship, character, core values, communication, conflict resolution. How well are those things going on in your relationship, and are they salvageable? Some people, it's a root issue. It's a core issue. So no matter how much you do, if they don't have it in them to change who they are as a person from their value system and from their character, you can stay in it as long as you want, and you'll just still be miserable, and you're still not accomplishing anything. So I'm not saying everything is salvageable. I can't say that, because if you're getting beat upside your head without end,
Right.
Take physical abuse out. Let's take physical abuse out. Should you be looking to work through every other form, or just about every other problem outside of physical abuse?
I think you can. Yes.
You can
Yes.
work. You can work through
Yes.
every problem.
So divorce should be taken off as long as there's no physical abuse, divorce should be taken off the table.
I believe so, and I also believe that sometimes people just won't change. Right? So sometimes there might need to be a separation. And if that does not garner movement towards healing, then you have to make a decision.
Yeah.
Now, I don't really feel Corey nodding her head as much over here. So
We got some
I wanna-
night owls in here too.
I wanna hear your
we over
thoughts.
500. Why y'all up so late?
I want to
We
hear your
at
thoughts on this.
500.
one, Corey.
Yeah,
Wow.
500. We over 500 right
Oh, yeah,
now.
they
We got some
jumped on
night
late
owls.
then.
It's
It was
going
like
crazy.
470.
It is. This is a good one. I want to hear this one. What's your thoughts?
Do I think that marriage comes with deal breakers, is what you're saying, basically? Do I think there should be deal breakers in your marriage, or should you just stick it out regardless?
I'm gonna be more specific.
Okay, be more specific.
If you're in a marriage,
Yes.
aside from physical abuse,
Yes.
should you be looking to work through every other problem and take divorce completely off the table?
I feel like you asked that question in such a dramatic way.
Right.
And you said
Yes.
every other problem.
Right.
Yes.
I cannot say no. I mean, I can't say yes. I disagree with that. I disagree with that. I think, and I also subscribe to the fact that you have to be good with what you can manage. You know, like you can take people's advice all day long, but if that is not realistic for you, if you cannot mentally maintain a healthy marriage based on what you've been through, if you truly can't get over it, it doesn't matter that your pastor told you divorce is out of the question, because you know what you can handle. So I think it does come down to...
But do you know? Do you know what you can handle?
I think so.
I don't think people know.
I
I don't think people know what they can handle. They know what hurts, and they base that off of what they think they can handle. You understand?
But it goes both ways too, because I think sometimes people think that they can forgive and forget because they think they can handle, they can get through it, get over it, work through it, and then they truly cannot. So I think sometimes you think you can handle more than you actually can, and then
Now you're
and then-
saying divorce off the table, but you said never coming back on the table. I think anything you should try to work through before divorce is the decision. So I feel like whatever, aside from abuse, anything that comes up, you have the opportunity to take divorce off the table first, and let's try to work through this. Now, does that mean it can be saved? I don't believe that. I don't believe every marriage will be saved, but I do believe that everything can be worked through if you're willing to process it. But does it mean it's going to work? It still might not work. So sometimes divorce may be the outcome for some people. But do I think everything is worth trying to work through before you go to divorce? Yes. I think every issue you have, you should try to process that before divorce is the thing that you go for.
And
You know
what
what-
you
you know
tell
what I realized,
yourself is
though?
important as well, right? I have to say this. What you tell yourself is important, because when you said what you said, it made me think. When you said some people can't forgive, that is so not accurate. People simply choose not to forgive, and they don't know how to.
They
do
don't
the
know
work
how.
to
Right.
Forgiveness,
I get what you're saying.
right? But you can absolutely forgive.
And I
I think
see,
that's like saying it's possible. Like, human beings can forgive. Like, in theory, yes, we can all forgive, but it's like, I can say I forgive my husband, but I'm not. I'm going to make you feel it every single day. So have I truly forgiven you?
No.
Right.
So can I, in theory, forgive? Yes. But today, I'm not able to do that. So how does that translate, I guess?
Well, why aren't you able to do that? Right? You're taking something personal.
You cheated on me. Now I can't get over it. I'm taking it personal.
Well, that takes time, though. Right? That just takes time. Listen, let me tell you something.
Anybody can forgive anything as long as they have enough time to get through it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I have forgiven Shannon, and every once in a while, I have a flashback.
Some flashbacks.
You understand?
Dangerous.
And in that moment, I get to choose: do I ride that train, or I'm like, nope. And I choose nope. I don't ride the train, because now I get in my feelings, and then I'll treat him a certain way. Right? But I've retrained my brain, so now I'm just in the habit. It's right, but that doesn't stop. Every once in a while, a flash, like something. You know what I'm saying? Like the nostalgia, like you smell something that take you back 30 years ago. Right? So that happens. Like trauma is real. You understand? But there's work to be done that can transition us from this realm to this realm.